The air was thick with the smell of saltwater and decay as I stepped off the small boat and onto the rocky shore. The abandoned lighthouse loomed before me, its once white walls now weathered to a dull gray. The wind howled through the narrow windows, creating an otherworldly moan that sent shivers down my spine. I approached the lighthouse, my footsteps echoing off the walls as I made my way up the winding staircase. The creaking of the wooden steps beneath my feet seemed to match the rhythm of the wind, creating a sense of unease that settled in the pit of my stomach. As I reached the top, I was met with a view of the desolate coast, the waves crashing against the rocks in a relentless rhythm. The interior of the lighthouse was just as eerie as the exterior, the air thick with dust and the stench of rotting books. I fumbled for my flashlight, casting a weak beam of light through the darkness as I searched for any sign of the mysterious keeper. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the sound of my own ragged breathing and the creaking of the old wooden beams. As I made my way deeper into the lighthouse, I stumbled upon a series of cryptic journals belonging to the keeper. The entries spoke of a dark presence that lurked just beyond the edge of town, a presence that only the keeper could sense. I felt a shiver run down my spine as I read the words, a sense of foreboding building in the pit of my stomach. I continued to read the journals, my heart racing with every passing page. The keeper's writing grew more erratic, the words becoming increasingly cryptic as the entries went on. I began to wonder if I was reading the ramblings of a madman, or if there was something more sinister at play. The wind outside seemed to grow stronger, the howling growing louder as if it was trying to warn me away. I heard a faint noise coming from the top of the lighthouse, a soft scratching sound that seemed to be getting closer. My heart racing, I turned off the flashlight and listened intently, trying to pinpoint the source of the sound. The scratching grew louder, and I knew I had to investigate. As I crept towards the source of the noise, I caught a glimpse of a figure out of the corner of my eye. It was the keeper, standing at the edge of the lantern room, his eyes fixed on some point beyond the horizon. I froze, my heart pounding in my chest, as the keeper turned to face me. His eyes were black as coal, and they seemed to suck all the light out of the room. I felt a chill run down my spine as he spoke, his voice low and gravelly. "Welcome to my home," he said, his eyes never leaving mine. "I've been waiting for you." I tried to speak, but my voice caught in my throat. The keeper took a step closer, his eyes burning with an otherworldly intensity. I knew I had to get out of there, but my legs seemed rooted to the spot. The keeper reached out a bony hand and grasped my wrist, his fingers like ice. I felt a surge of adrenaline as he pulled me towards him, his eyes blazing with a malevolent intensity. I knew I was in grave danger, and that I had to escape. I tried to break free, but the keeper's grip was like a vice. He pulled me closer, his breath hot against my ear. "You shouldn't have come here," he whispered, his voice dripping with malice. And then, everything went black. As I regained consciousness, I found myself back on the rocky shore, the lighthouse looming behind me. But it was then that I saw it, a note, tied to the door with a piece of twine. And on the note, a single sentence, "I'm not the keeper, you are."